Good morning. Department of Collegiate and Technical Education, Principles of Transportation Engineering, Module 1, Session 1, Highway Engineering of 5th semester, Civil Engineering. Subject code is 18CB56. Let's understand what is the meaning or the definition of transportation engineering. Transportation engineering is the application of technology and scientific principles to the planning, functional design, operation, and management of facility for any kind of transportation in order to provide for safe, efficient, rapid, comfortable, convenient, economical, and environmentally compatible movement of people and goods from one place to another. So, the transportation mainly includes the movement of public or the people and also goods from one place to another. So, whether people or whether the goods has to be moved from one place to another, then it has to be safe. It has to be efficient. It has to be faster. If the public or the people is traveling, then it has to be comfortable for them. It is to be convenient. At the same time, it has to be cost effective. That is, it has to be economical. Not only that, all these things it should happen along with that environmentally friendly nature. So that is the meaning of transportation engineering. Basic definition of transportation: the facility consisting of means and equipment necessary for the movement of passenger or goods. Importance: transportation plays a vital role in economic development of any region of any country, since every commodity produced, whether it may be in agricultural or industrial products, need to be transported at various stages from production to distribution. So whatever the product the farmers grow, either those product has to be transported to the market or it has to be transported to the factories or industries. So this is possible only if you have a good and efficient transportation. So what happens if you do not have a good or an efficient transportation? Definitely, it will going to retard the process of socio-economic and cultural development of any region or a country. A good development of transportation facility in a country indicates its economic growth and progress. The main objective of transportation system is to provide safe, economical, efficient transportation facility for passengers and goods. Economic effect of transportation: production or supply, consumption for human needs or demand. So, as I told you, the farmers when they grow the products, agricultural product, either it has to be supplied to the factories or it has to be supplied to the market. So the industries mainly depend upon the raw materials which they get. So the raw material may be produced by the farmers or by any other person. So this has to be supplied to the factories. At the same time, the materials which are produced by the farmers, it may be consumed by the public or the human being. Then that needs to be transported to the market. So the mainly production or supply for the industries and factories and consumption for the human beings are demand. So that will going to affect the economic thing in a country or in a region, because the development of industries, factories mainly decide the economic activity in a country, because many people will be getting the job opportunity. So when the people get the jobs, obviously their living standard, their they will be getting the salary, at the same time they will be having the capacity to spend. So it is a chain link. So all the economic activities in that state or in a country, it will going to be affected. So transportation plays a very important role in economic activity of a country. Social effects of transportation: sectionalism and transportation, concentration of population in urban areas, aspect of safety, law and order. So let's discuss one by one what is sectionalism and transportation. The improved transportation reduces sectionalism within the country and also with other countries in the world. Sectionalism is nothing but the concentration of uh, people in any particular area. Okay, because they will be getting more facility. In that place, you may be having a good transportation facility and all the other facilities you may be getting. So for that purpose, many people will going to reside in one particular place. So if you have a good transportation facility, then the sectionalism in the country can be avoided. Just to give an example, if you consider Karnataka, the Bangalore is an example for sectionalism because many industries, many people are residing in Bangalore. They will be getting more job opportunities, they will be getting good salaries, their standard of living is more. That's why Bangalore is a typical example of a sectionalism in Karnataka. But if you provide a good transportation facility in the nearby cities, adjacent cities to Bangalore, definitely you can reduce these persons or the public residing in the Bangalore, and also you can create a job opportunities in the nearby cities of the towns. Thereby, the concentration of population or the sectionalism will be reduced in Bangalore. The living condition and the facilities under the developed colonies and tribes get improved since the distances are apparently reduced with reduction in travel time. That means if you have a good transportation facility, definitely there will be a reduction in the travel time. Frequent travel to other parts of the country and outside the country tend to increase the knowledge of people by learning from other sections and also society, resulting in improved trade and cultural exchanges. If you have a good transportation with the other of the foreign countries, definitely it will going to improve or increase the knowledge of the people by learning from the other societies, their culture, their traditions, all this can be known, and also it will going to improve the trade and cultural exchange. Improvement in international understanding for better peace. Concentration of population in urban areas. Improved transportation facilities bring prosperity to the urban population. So just now I gave an example of Bangalore, right? Where if you think that Bangalore is having a good transportation facility, then definitely it is attracting more people from the all the parts of Karnataka and also from all the parts of India. Why? Because the employment opportunity, prosperity and superior facilities for education, medical or the healthcare are available in urban areas attract the population from other areas leading to increase in economic activity. That's why if you see Bangalore city, you can see more more of a economic activities. Why? Because of job opportunities, the people are getting a good salary, right? Because you are having a good education system, having a good healthcare system, all these things, right? It will going to attract the people from different parts of the state and also from different parts of the country. Adequate mass transportation facilities are needed to cater the internal movement for daily movement and for other social needs. So you can have a transportation facility, not only the individual transportation facility, mass transportation facility. So mass transportation facility means the public transport. That is your metro, your BMTC buses, right, or the local buses. So they also helps in the transportation of people and also goods from one place to another. Effective rapid transportation facilities are needed for suburban and intercity long distance travel. Inadequate transportation facility lead to concentration of population in cities, which often results in congestion and related issues. So this is also the another harmful or a bad effect of the concentration of population in any one particular region, because it will lead to congestion and also other related issues. If adequate facilities are provided, people tend to prefer to reside at localities away from the urban center. So just now as I told you, right, if you provide or if you improve the cities nearby Bangalore, people will migrate to those places. So the concentration of population will be less in Bangalore. It would be less in Bangalore. So with respect to the safety, law and order, transportation facilities are required for rushing aid to areas affected by emergencies. So just now you had these floods or other natural calamities. So if any services of the people are required, like army or any medical health care, those people can easily travel to those places only if they have good transportation facility. To maintain law and order and to defend the territory of the country against the external aggression and to guard the borders with foreign territory, transportation facilities are needed. Sometimes defense needs alone are not sufficient reason to develop the transportation needs which may not have any social or economic benefit. So you cannot gauge the defense or the security of a country or a state, and also you cannot measure those things in terms of social and economic benefit. It has got its own effect because one has to defend himself or herself. Even this is applicable even for the state or even for the country. So you cannot gauge those defense needs in terms of socio and economic benefits. It has got its own importance and also it is very very crucial for any state or a country. So what is the impact of transportation on the rural roads or the rural areas? Improvement in transportation services leads to improved access to market centers for the rural producers, better availability of farm inputs and reduced prices. Diversification of agricultural produce with improved market access promote shift in favor of cash crops and commercialization of agricultural activities. So not only the regular material which the farmers grow, even they can go for farming cash crops. So cash crops are, you can say that coffee, any material or any crops, right, which will yield more value or the higher value for the farmers. And commercialization of agricultural activities. So they can commercialize the whatever the agricultural products that they grow. Diversification of livelihood opportunities with better connectivity enhances the employment opportunity in the non-agricultural areas. Improve the services with improved road connectivity. Inter alia means interstate or within the country or within the state. Enhances access to education, health and financial services. Increase in outreach due to improved rural road facilities, better availability of public services and functionaries in rural areas. So let's see what are the different modes of transportation. The basic modes of transportation: landways, roadway, railway, waterway and airways. So these are the examples for the different types of modes of transportation. Highways means you can have a car, bus, truck or a non-motorized vehicle. It may be a bullock cart, it may be any animal drawn vehicle, right? Even it may be a bicycle, etc. Railways, you can have this passenger railway or goods railway. Airways, aircraft and helicopters. Waterways, ships, boats, etc. Continuous flow system or other modes of transportation. Pipelines, you can have the pipeline to transport water, oil or gas, etc. Belt to transport the material. Elevators, so if you want to shift or if you want to transport the material from lower to the higher. Then ropeway, etc. So these are the other modes of transportation. So let's understand what are the features of each mode of transportation. The first one, airways. It is the fastest among all other modes of transportation. More comfortable. So one will be having comfortable right journey, time saving. So you can travel at a very faster rate. You can travel within probably half an hour or 1 hour, depending on the distance. Then it is uneconomical. The only disadvantage is uneconomical. That means it is very costly. The transportation by airways is very costly. Waterways, slowest among all the other modes of transportation. It is very slow, right? You need to travel for about 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, etc. It needs minimum energy to haul unit load through unit distance. The energy or the fuel consumed by the waterway, that is the ships or the boat, is very less when you compare with other modes of transportation. This can be possible only if you have a ports or seas or along the river. This is very much important for this waterway. Otherwise, it is not possible to travel. Economical, it is less costly. Railways, the transportation along the railway track could be advantageous by railways between the station both for the passenger and goods, particularly for long distances. For long distances, usually the people will prefer going by railways than by roadways. Either they can go by airways, but the only thing is the airlines is costly or the airways is costly compared to the railway or roadway. So for that purpose, they usually for long distances they prefer railway. Just to give an example, if somebody wants to travel from Bangalore to Delhi, they usually prefer either by going by airways or either by going by railways. Since economy comes into picture, usually the people will prefer railways. It depends upon road transport, that is, road could serve as a feeder system. So if you want to go to railway station, definitely you require the road transport. You need an access to the railway station only through road. So the basic transportation is roadways only. Energy required to haul a unit load through unit distance by railway is only 1/4 to 1/5 that is required by road. So the energy required to travel in the railway is very less. Probably even you may be knowing that the transportation in railway is very less when you compare with roadway. The fare charges in railway is very less compared to your roadway. Then safety is also having a safety. Let's come to this highway. It gives a maximum service to one and all. Each one of us, right, travel either by using the highway only, right, and also the more other vehicles we use on the highways. It gives a maximum flexibility for travel with reference to the route, direction, time, speed of travel. So whenever you want to travel, you can travel by highway, but it is not in the case of your airways or the railways. Whenever there is a train, only at that time you need to travel. Whenever the flight departures, at that time only you need to travel. Okay, you cannot go as and when you require. And also in highways, you can go in whatever the direction you want to go. And also time, whenever you want to go, you can travel. That much of flexibility is there in case of highway. It provides door-to-door service. So door-to-door service is possible only in highways. In all the other modes of transportation, door-to-door service is not possible. You cannot directly go home. If you land from the airport, you require the assistance of highway. So you don't find any railway station or a airport near your home. You need to travel for a certain distance, then only you can reach your home. That means highways are very much necessary to provide door-to-door service. Other modes are dependent on it. So all the other modes of transportation, they mainly dependent on highway. It requires small investment for the government. Compared to other modes of transportation, the initial investment required is less. Motor vehicles are cheaper than other carriers like rail locomotives and also the aircraft. So buying a vehicle is cheaper when compared with buying a railway or buying a aircraft. I think nobody wants to buy a aircraft or a train because it is very costly and also it may not be possible. Buying a vehicle is very cheaper and easy. It saves the time for a shorter distance. High degree of accident due to flexibility. So compared to all other modes of transportation, highways has got the highest degree of accident. Let's see what are the characteristics of road transport. Roads are used by various types of road vehicles like passenger cars, buses, trucks, pedal cycle, and animal drawn vehicle. It requires a relatively small investment for the government. So the cost of construction of a roadway or the highway is less when compared with the aircraft or the airways and railways. It offers a complete freedom to road user to transfer the vehicle from one lane to another and from one road to another according to the need and their convenience. Speed and movement is directly related with the severity of the accident. So if you move haphazardly, then there may be a chances of accident. If you travel at a very high speed, then also the chances of accident and also the severity of the accident may be. Road transport is the only means of transport that offer itself to the whole community. So it is the only way of transportation. All the community, whole community or all the community will be accessed. So we'll be moving to the multiple choice questions. Let's understand, right? So whatever we have discussed today, let's understand the thing by attending some of the multiple choice questions. The main objective of transportation is economic transport of goods, economic transport of passengers to generate revenue, safe, economical, and efficient transportation of goods and passengers. So the answer is D. That is, it should be safe, economical, and efficiently transport both the goods and services or the passengers. The factor influence the cost of transportation are supply, demand, both supply and demand, cost of the land. So it is both supply and demand. Which is the most flexible type of transportation available? Roadway, railway, waterway, airway. So it is roadway. So just now we are told roadway, it offers a maximum flexibility in whatever the time you want to travel, in whatever the direction you want to travel, and whatever the time you want to travel, you can travel by roadway. So it has got the maximum flexibility. The transportation system that requires a low initial investment among the following is roadway, railway, harbor, airport. The answer is roadway, that is A. Identify the odd one out from the following: conveyor belts, ropeways, pipelines, airways. The answer is B, because all other modes, that is conveyor belts, ropeway, and pipelines, they belong to other mode of transportation. The cost per tonnage is low in dash transportation: airway, waterway, roadway, railway. The answer is B, that is waterway. So waterway, traveling by boat or a ship, the cost per tonnage, because the fuel consumption is very less compared to other mode of transport. The cost per tonnage is high in dash transportation: airway, waterway, roadway, railway. The answer is airways. Door-to-door service is provided by dash transportation: waterway, airway, railway, roadway. The answer is B, that is roadway provides door-to-door service. All other services, they depend on roadways. The importance of transportation is social, economical, both social and economical, none. Answer is C, that is both social and economical. Transportation affects both social and economic activity or the social and economic development of a country or a region. The social effect of transportation is sectionalism and transportation, concentration of population, B only, that is concentration of population, both A and B. The answer is B, that is the transportation affects both sectionalism and also the concentration of. Thank you.